Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a family game night video. And the reason that I do these is I think it's important for families to get together and talk. Especially during this forced quarantine going on. Families got to have something to do, and what better way to spend time than to laugh and have fun over a game with your family. You can sit around with your family and talk, communicate, which is something families have a hard time doing these days with all of our devices and stuff. A tabletop role-playing game, in my opinion, is the way to go. And got a lot of good stories here. My wife and son are tired of hearing them, so I figured I'd share them with you. This particular video is from a White Wolf game. White Wolf, I talked about them in some other videos. They put out some great games: Vampire, Mage, Mummy, Werewolf, all that. This particular story is called Cubed Vampire. Years ago, I was playing in a game of Vampire, the Masquerade. And I'm not a fan of vampires. I never have been. However, the game master knew this, and he allowed me to run a mage instead. I prefer mages over vampires. And Mage, the Ascension, is also part of this. And they're all compatible, you know, and White Wolf does a good job with this. So I had a mage that was approaching their power level already. I'd run in another game, so I brought him in and ran him. And he was very, very powerful. Very powerful. Now, White Wolf does magic differently than other games. In Dungeons & Dragons, the wizard has a spell book and he memorizes spells for the day. Wizards in White Wolf, mages in White Wolf, they're called will workers. They literally use their enlightened will to reshape reality. And when a wizard in this game, when a mage does the same effect over and over and over, he creates what's called a rote, which is about the closest thing they have to a spell. And in the game they have edge wizards who memorize spells as well, but that's not the kind of wizard I was running. And these rotes, you do them enough and you get better at them. One of my rotes that I had for my wizard, I called it the Louisville Slugger. And what this spell did, this rote, what it did, the effect was it canceled all the forces which held a person where they were, or held an item, a thing, a person, place, thing, whatever, a building, a shrub, whatever, where they were on the planet. So the effect was the planet's rotating and the person stays where they are. Say. The effect in game terms was everything west of them slammed into them at 1,038 miles an hour, because the Earth rotates at about 1,038 miles an hour, and the person stays still, and the planet rotates underneath them. And it cancels all those forces, including centripetal force, gravity, friction, that kind of thing. So anyway, this allowed the Earth to rotate under the target, and and it was an interesting concept, and I used it to great effect on a lot of things. This particular time, my character was sent to negotiate with a vampire. And this vampire had henchmen working for him and other vampires. And so the negotiations did not go well. I'm not going to go into detail there because it'll take a long time. However, these negotiations did not go well, and these vampires decided they were going to attack me. And I tried to get away. I ran from them. I got down out of the building. I made it out into this. It was a big playground, and they had one of those outside basketball courts. And I was running through the basketball court when excuse me, when vampires trapped me in this basketball court. It had a chain link fence around it and everything, and I couldn't get away. I had to fight. So what I did is, other than me, everybody in there, I just canceled their I used the Louisville Slugger on everyone except for me. And the chain link fence came around and went whoosh, and left a buttload of cubed vampire. Yeah, the guys running those vampires weren't happy, but it was 6-on-1. What was I supposed to do? You know, he ain't got no choice. Oh, yeah, six. There was six of them. Two of them were actually player characters. Uh, the two player characters had to make up new characters, and they were not happy. Mess with a bull, you get the horns, or in this case, you get cubed. Have a good day. God bless one and all.